What's up, you guys? This is Rob from the Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're going to be taking a look at what exactly happened to the Quartakk in hotfix 22.9.0. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the Quartakk has actually received a couple little tweaks here and there, but most recently, they actually received an interesting change to the way that it functions. Now, first and foremost, it actually changed from a semi-automatic that fires off 4 bullets at once to, and don't ask me exactly how this makes anything all that different. Change it to a burst fire rifle that fires off 4 bullets. Now here's the thing. When I fire it off, it feels like a single shot. Like, I've had a lot of experience with semi-automatics, and I do have a primed shred on this, which is just a little bit slower than the normal fire rate mod, the standard fire rate mod that you can get. But legitimately, it still feels like a semi-auto. I don't really feel the burst part of it, at least with a primed shred on there, so I don't really, I'm not really feeling that mechanical difference at all. But I figured let's go ahead and jump into the numbers about it real quick. So the fire rate's actually been changed from 6.32 and bumped up to 12.67, which does seem like a buff. However, it did take a hit to its base damage. So it started off at 51 and has actually dropped down to 27. So we get an increase in its fire rate, but we're getting a decrease in its base damage. Now, it kind of all balances out if we take a look at its actual burst damage. So it went from 322.32 up to 342.09. So it does seem like a buff in that way. However, we also have to keep in mind that because of the fact it's consuming more ammo, it is making the weapon less ammo efficient. But in their own strange way, DE has tried to offset that as well by increasing its accuracy. So now the shots that you fire are gonna hit, because legitimately this thing has an insane amount of accuracy. Before, it was actually sitting at 58.8, which is pretty fucking high already. I'm like, oh my god, that's ridiculously high. But DE decided to bump it up to 90.9. Now, I don't know why they didn't just go with the 100. Like, really, what's the difference between 90.9 and 100? But, I mean, hey, do what you gotta do. Make whatever you gotta make happen. So we're sitting at a 90.9 accuracy, which, if I'm gonna be honest with you, really doesn't feel all that different from the 58. I feel like 58 is already so much accuracy that 90.9 is just kind of like overkill. But hey, you know what? If it helps at all with ammo efficiency, that would be fantastic. Now, the most interesting thing that I actually found with this, and I've been playing around with it a little bit, is the fact that the original builds that I was actually playing with when I rewatched my old video had stated that when you use Hunter's Munitions, it's really, really good with Hunter's Munitions, but it did not feel all that amazing with Corrosive. And I think this is the main change that we're seeing here, because now Hunter's Munitions is on par, if not slightly behind the Corrosive builds. And that's kind of one of the things that I found very, very interesting. I almost felt as if DE might have been pulling away a little bit from Hunter's Munitions and kind of like pulling this weapon away from that and giving it a little bit more efficacy with other statuses like Corrosive, which, as we know, are safe from damage 2.5 at the moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly how this performs with the viral, because I did click the viral, right? Let me make 100% sure. Yes, we are rocking the viral alongside Hunter's Munitions, and we're gonna be testing this out on level 155 bombards. Now, like I had stated in my previous video, it's a little bit hard without measuring time to kill, because that's exactly the way that you should measure it for the kind of changes that actually come through with the weapon, is because of the time to kill. Now, if you notice, what has happened here is I was actually able to take down those bombards pretty quick with the old variant of this, but I've actually had to reload in this, which just goes to show that it's not as ammo efficient when it's dealing its damage. Now, clearly, that bombard was not dead, but let's go ahead and get a fresh one so you guys can get a better idea, because usually it doesn't take a full clip. It'll usually take, there'll actually usually be anywhere from 16 to 4 remaining in the clip after I'm done, but as you can see there, it took an entire clip to go ahead and take him out using viral and Hunter's Munitions. So that's kind of like the gauge you guys are going to get. I'm going to go ahead and do another one, because I have seen this. I have seen us get lucky with Hunter's Munitions on this one and legitimately just proc so many slashes that we could get away with only using 4 left. But I guess, you know, this is how testing goes, and it kind of goes to show it takes about a clip to go ahead and take them down with this new variant, which is, you know, it's not great. However, when using corrosive, it actually feels, I feel like it feels a lot better. So as you can see here, we actually swapped out Hunter's Munitions for Vigilante Armament, and we've gone and jumped into a corrosive build instead. Now, in my video, like I had stated, I did not feel that corrosive even compared, even closely compared to Hunter's Munitions on this weapon. However, as you can see here, because of the fact that look at that, and we've still got 4 left in the clip. Because of the fact that it's a faster fire rate, and because of the fact that it's applying, it's able to shoot off more bullets, which means that corrosive is being applied more often, and we're stripping armor more often, it is able to hit the enemy a good bit harder. So, and here's the thing, I'm not even tapping like at full speed. Like, if I could tap at full speed right there, so you can see we've got 8 in the clip there. It's a little bit more comfortable when we're using the corrosive. Now, am I saying that this is a great weapon? No, I'm not saying that this is a great weapon. Am I saying that these are great changes? I'm not saying that they're great changes, but they are changes. And I found that the changes, the thing that's the most interesting about the changes is the fact that legitimately, corrosive used to not be all that spectacular on this weapon, but because of the, look at that, we have 28 still left in the clip. So part of me is very strongly saying, like, okay, like, corrosive is clearly pulling ahead of the old Hunter's Munitions build, so whatever DE did to this weapon, they're pushing it towards corrosive as opposed to slash, which is, in all honesty, great, because it's nice to actually get some, ooh, that's me gripping the mouse a little too tight. As you guys know, whenever you see those jumps, it's always me hitting the mouse a little too strongly. But it's great because of the fact that now we have a weapon that doesn't necessarily depend on Hunter's Munitions and is actually performing better without it than it was before, which I think is very, very interesting. And I don't necessarily know if that's a change specifically because of damage 2.5, but it helps kind of differentiate it from some of the other, oh, I did it again. Some of the other weapons out there that are really, really relying on that. Listen, that was all my fault. I wasn't hitting headshots. I was definitely squidging the mouse a little bit. I feel like the mouse is a little too far away from me. But consistently, this thing is getting under a clip with corrosive, except for that last one that I butchered. And I think that's kind of like an interesting turn of events for this weapon, and it's an interesting way to see how statistics react. How certain statistics react as 20 in the clip. I'm telling you, they did a flip-flop. They did an entire flip-flop, because if you watch the old video, legitimately, in that old video, I said that Hunter's Munitions, the Hunter's Munitions variant of this was just 10 times better. However, this variant, as you can see right now, is definitely performing quite well using corrosive. So definitely give it a shot with corrosive, drop that Hunter's Munitions, play around with it, and see how you guys like it. Regardless, let me know how you guys are feeling about how this interesting statistical change, because really that's what it was. It was just a shift in stats. They did lower the ammo efficiency of this, but they did increase the accuracy, so you can get your headshots a little bit better, which is definitely nice, because, you know, those headshots will give you more multiplier. So it kind of like fiddles with the ammo efficiency. Like, if you can kill it faster because you're getting headshots, then technically you're not consuming as much ammo. It's like all of these weird trade-offs in one, and you're like, well, you don't get to use Hunter's Munitions and Viral on this as much anymore, but if you use corrosive, you're gonna see like a much better performance out of it. It's really interesting. So let me know all of your feelings in the comments below. Let me know if you've given this a try with corrosive and Viral and how you felt about it. And that about does it for now. So at least you know what is going on in the world of the Quartakk. Alright, so thank you guys so much. And that about does it for me. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your new sexy robot skill. Look at that. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.